This beer company is only 6 years old, and it already generates $90 million a year. And the interesting part? None of their products contain alcohol. They've even won countless international awards and have beat offerings from big brands like Budweiser, Corona, and Heineken. How did they do it? One is through their product, and two is through their marketing. Let's dive into the rise of America's biggest non-alcoholic beer brand, Athletic Beer. Athletic Beer was an idea Bill Shufelt had come up with in 2014. He was an avid beer drinker, but had stopped for a while to focus on his health. However, he really missed drinking a good bottle of beer to pair with his meals or to celebrate with during special occasions. He thought, why couldn't there be a drink that looked and tasted like beer without being alcoholic? At this time, non-alcoholic beer was already a thing, but they tasted.
Blech.
It took Bill years to conceptualize his idea while still keeping his corporate job. He had pitched to over 100 brewers, and one by one, they all said no until he met his co-founder, master brewer John Walker.
Yeah, it wasn't only the 120 fundraising meetings, it was talking to hundreds of brewers trying to find John, our co-founder. I would go to conferences with 10,000 people in the brewing industry and not be able to have a meaningful conversation. And I'd go back to the hotel at the end of the night and just flop on the bed, just totally beat up.
They worked day in and day out to perfect their product using the same ingredients and machinery as traditional breweries. Bill and John weren't afraid to pour gallons of failed attempts down the drain. Eventually, they hit the jackpot.
Somewhere around batch 20 or 30, the IPA started to taste really good. And that was just such an enjoyable moment for me. It was like mind-blowing. It was so much better than anything that had been in the category since. It was a flavor explosion. The ingredients were super high quality. And I knew we were going to make it at that point.
They had the product down. Now, how do they sell it? Bill and John officially launched Athletic Beer in 2018. It was hard to market at first because non-alcoholic beer had a stigma. People felt like they were outsiders if they were in a bar or drinking setting where everyone else was drinking alcohol. They would feel ashamed of choosing the non-alcoholic option. Bill thought they had to change this line of thinking. They targeted their marketing for health-conscious consumers, people who want to enjoy a beer without feeling hungover the next day, and even athletes.
We went door to door, taste testing retailers, meeting people at finish lines of races when they were sweaty and having a good time, putting a non-alcoholic beer in their hand and telling them a little bit about it.
Eventually, their market grew to include every drinking and non-drinking adult. They positioned their product as a choice for those who wanted to enjoy the social aspect of beer without the downsides, unlike regular beers, which you could only drink on Fridays or weekends. You could enjoy Athletic Beer every day and on every occasion without the guilt of consuming something unhealthy, or without crawling the next day to work with a bad headache. And it was a hit.
People want to feel better, they want to eat healthier, and it's not necessarily that they have to forego what they used to drink. They can just have great things more days of the week, more hours of the day now.
Athletic Beer quickly rose to the top. They were even dubbed the #1 beer brand sold in Whole Foods. Yes, beating out even full-strength beer brands. From a revenue of $2.5 million in 2019, they grew up to almost 500% the next year with $15 million in the bag. By 2023, they had reached $90 million in revenue and are expected to surpass that easily in the coming years. This is what happens when you have a great product and great marketing to back it up. One without the other is useless. And Athletic Beer nailed both. This combo of innovation and clever branding is how they didn't just compete with, but dominated a category that barely existed before. And today, they're not just leading the non-alcoholic beer category, they're redefining it entirely. If you like this video, hit the follow button so you won't miss more new videos coming soon.